Hey, Trev, it's Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com. I guess the big first question is, how do you feel? You said you felt good last week. Do you feel like you're 100% where you were before the COVID, just in terms of your timing and your respiratory system and your conditioning and so forth?
Yeah, I feel good. I feel just as good as I did when I left a few weeks ago, and back to normal, feeling good, getting my timing back with all the receivers and everything, and just getting back in the swing of things. But I'm feeling really good.
Trevor, it's Pete at AP. I mean, did this experience kind of give you any perspective when you got back on the field? I mean, Coach Elliott talked about he could see that you were appreciative of being back playing football. Did you feel like you gained a sense of that through this?
I think through this whole thing, even before this year's been a little different. I think everyone has a greater appreciation for what we get to do, just with everything kind of being in jeopardy in fall camp and the beginning of the season, and then figuring out how we're going to get to play and all that stuff. It's been, everyone's had a bigger appreciation, but then actually having to miss a couple weeks, definitely I was appreciative to be back, and just shows you it's a privilege to get to do what we do and really enjoy being out here. Obviously the days can be long sometimes, and sometimes you can kind of lose sight of what you do and why you do it, and really more appreciative than ever to be back. And it means a lot just being a part of this team, and it's a lot of fun too. I didn't hear it. It sounded like
We'll have you all submit that question via chat. We'll be happy to ask on your behalf.
It's Trevor again. Florida State's corner, Asante Samuel, number 26, is a really good corner. He has 3 interceptions this season. When you go against a guy like that, does it give you pause? Somebody's sounds like
how long did it take you gone for so long time to get back in the flow of practice?
No, you're okay. Trevor, Trevor Groves, can you ask your question? Will Vandervoort, yours was on delay.
There we go.
Put yours in the chat, please.
I'm good now. I think mine was muted, but yeah, the questions got all jumbled. So whoever asked that first one.
Thanks, Ross. It's Trevor again. Just to finish my question about Asante Samuel, does facing a corner like that give you like pause or make you hesitate just about like throwing into tight coverage or jump ball situation, or do you just let it fly regardless of who the corner is?
There's a balance between it. I mean, obviously he's a really good player. Every year I've played against him, I guess since we were freshmen when we went there and played. I remember him from then. So he's a really good player, obviously. But I think there's a balance of just recognizing being a quarterback is knowing, where your matchups are, what's a better matchup. All those things is something you have to know. It's just part of knowing the game. And so that's a big part. And then also just there's a part too where, you can't just throw away from someone. So, I mean, there's both sides of it. And just obviously in college football, you play good players every week. So that's not going to, necessarily change our game plan. But he is a good player that is very capable. So, but yeah, so I think he's great.
Trevor, here's a question on behalf of the Clemson Insider. Did you have any issues getting back physically last week and getting back in the flow?
Not really. I think the only issue maybe was just being a little rusty, timing wise with some of the receivers. But I felt really good physically. Just took me a couple of days to get back in shape just from, sitting around for 10 days or whatever it was. So that was the only thing. It's just a couple of days to just run a little bit, get back in shape. Then after that, I felt good. Just had to get my timing back. So I feel like I'm in a really good spot right now with the team.
Trevor, Brad from Clemson SI. You've had 2 of the last 3 weeks kind of sitting around a little bit. Have you been able to watch any college football? And what have you thought of the quarterback play this year from guys like Justin Fields and Mac Jones and Kyle Trask?
Yeah, it's been I honestly haven't been able to watch a ton of those guys. I get to see a handful of games on the weekend, depending on when we play and when we get back and all those things. But I've got to watch a few games, and I think it's been awesome to see guys playing really well. And then just as a, just from we were talking about earlier, from an appreciation standpoint, it's just good to see. Obviously, things aren't going perfect with the season, but going pretty well. And I think there's been more good than bad. Obviously, people highlight the bad a lot more than the good, but it's been successful so far, and I think it's been fun to watch, and it's been cool to see guys just loving to play, regardless of if the stadium's full, empty, half full, whatever that is. People are just getting to do what they love. So it's been cool to watch.
Hey, Trevor, it's Josh from the Post-Inquirer. You mentioned the appreciation piece. Has there been a moment over the past week that's really solidified that for you?
Not really. I think you just miss the little things when you're gone. It's just being with the guys. When I missed the Boston College game, just not being able to be in the locker room after we won. That's just some of those moments you can sometimes take for granted, but you miss it when you're not there. So something that I thought about, and obviously every game's special, especially games you get to play at home, and having to miss one of our last games this season at home for the Boston College game. Obviously, that sucked, but just appreciating every moment. And I think that's just, it gives me a reminder, and I've been trying to remind myself every day just to appreciate all the little things.
Trevor, it's Pete at AP again. I'm not saying you care about this at all, but it seems like you missed 2 games because of injury. Then you're off a week, and 10 guys pass you on Heisman lists for some reason. I mean, do you ever question any of that? It's not like you had any choice through any of this.
Yeah, I mean, you can go both ways. I think obviously that's something that you got to perform and you got to play well to be in the running for, and it definitely hurts you when you don't play for 2 weeks. So I can see that side of it, but at the same time, I mean, no watch list, award list, anything is going to change how I feel and the confidence I have. I mean, that's not going to change. So I'm just here to play football and do what I love. And the biggest thing is just staying focused on this team. And I guess in the end where we want to be, it's not really, I've never been one to really care that much about the awards. Obviously that would be super cool and it would be an honor to be in the running for the Heisman. But honestly, if I don't win it, the world's not going to stop. And so it's really not, I guess, the biggest deal to me, to be honest. But it's obviously super cool and it's an honor. But I mean, I'm more focused on this team and playing well, putting us in a position to win every week.
Hey, Travis, Trevor again. You had a great game 2 years ago in Tallahassee. I think maybe it was your first career 300-yard passing game. Obviously the blowout win, but when you go back to a stadium like that where you had such a great game, is there like a good vibe that you feel as opposed to maybe going back to the Superdome in New Orleans?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely not a huge deal, but you get a little bit of confidence from that, and just having a good feeling of I played well here last time I was here, but in the end, I mean, it doesn't make that big of a difference, honestly. You still got to play the game, and it's a whole new game, new team, new year, all those things. So you still got to play well and be ready either way. But yeah, I mean, definitely you'd rather go back to somewhere where you played well for sure.
Trevor, Larry Williams here with TigerIllustrated.com. Obviously, Travis hasn't been perfect the last few weeks, but I'm just curious, what are some ways that this offense can help him? I mean, obviously the offensive line would be on that list, but I'm just curious, like scheme-wise, decision-wise, things like that, because teams have been sort of stacking to stop him.
Well, we just got to continue to play complementary football on both sides of the ball and put each other in a good position. There's been times we put the defense in a bind. Just gotta do a better job of that and taking care of the ball. And but at the same time, it's just we've been playing well. I mean, obviously this last game didn't go exactly how we wanted it to, and the run game we could have done some things better. Obviously, I mean anyone can see that, but if you look at in totality this season, we've played well. We've been productive. It's one of the most productive offenses. So just continuing to do what we do well, but get better at the things that we're struggling with, whether that's, ID and run game, any of those things. I mean, we just got to continue to get better like anyone. But I think the main thing is just everyone doing their part, not trying to do more or less, just do your job. And that's what football is, just everyone doing their job, and especially offensive football. That's really important. So that's just the main focus from here on out, and what it has been, but just being able to fine tune a few things and really focus on doing what we do well, not necessarily trying to do a million different things, but just getting really good at what we do. So that's something that we're working on, and we're definitely going to get better.
Hey, Trevor, it's Chase Goodbread with NFL.com. I wanted to ask you about your approach to trying to make a difference off the field, whether it's COVID relief or social justice or what have you. Do you see speaking out on off-field issues just as a personal choice that you make like anyone else, or do you feel like it's a responsibility because of the platform and the reach that you have?
A little bit of both, honestly. I think it's important for people that have a big platform and that people listen to what they say. It's important for them to talk about things that are important, and that's something I'm still navigating and figuring out what's the happy medium between that. Obviously, it's you just can't keep everyone happy no matter what you say. So there's a balance in finding what to say, when to say it, the right things to say, but also what you believe in. So that's something that my position that I've had to figure out, and still got some things to learn. But it's how do I show what I believe in, what's important to me, but also not be polarizing and really just support the people I care about.
Any other questions for Trevor?
Yeah, I'll ask another, if I may. Trevor, for DJ, you know what it's like to come in as a true freshman and to see the different speed of the college game for the first time. Just how much could these last two games for DJ just accelerate his development? And have you already seen that this week of practice? Does he look like a different guy back there behind center?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a confident guy, but he has another level of confidence now that he's proved that he can do it, that he can go out there and he can play well. He can play at a high level, even though he's a freshman, and that gives him a lot of confidence. And that's one of the biggest things in this game is being confident. So obviously he has all the talent, and now I think he has a lot of confidence, and he's still learning a lot, but he's starting to get it. He's piecing things together, and really the experience that he got these past 2 weeks is pretty rare for a freshman to get. Obviously the comeback win against Boston College, and then the tough loss, having to play down the stretch, overtime, situational football, all those things that he got to learn against Notre Dame. So those are 2 games where, as a freshman, that's really rare to get that experience and really learn a lot, but also he proved that he can do it, that he played really well, and he's going to be a really good player. Obviously he already is, but I think that's huge in his development, is getting that experience and building that confidence, but also learning a ton. I mean, situational football is really important, and that's the hardest thing as a young player to understand. And I think he's getting it for sure.